If you started playing Roadside Research thinking it was just about picking up items, analyzing, and moving on, let me warn you, a lot of things are flying under the radar. And it's exactly these details that separate a stuck run from smooth, fast, and safe progression. Today, I'm getting straight to the point with 10 advanced tips I wish someone had told me early on. So stick with me, because after this video, you'll look at every roadside stop with different eyes. Night is the prime time for research. That moment when you can finally do the things that actually matter without looking over your shoulder in fear. This is when I plan the riskiest scans, the tests with the prober or brainwasher once unlocked, and especially stealing from customers who are sleeping or isolated away from witnesses. The night gives you cover, and you use that to push real progress. During the day, I completely switch my mindset. I become the model employee, focused on human tasks, serving customers, cleaning, stocking, refueling, doing everything right to lower the suspicion meter. It's the moment to clean up the face of the operation, because if you mix heavy research with daytime traffic, you're basically inviting trouble into the station. During the day, I'm discreet, almost boring, and that's intentional. This mental separation between day equals human and night equals alien turns the run into something much more controlled, because you stop improvising and start playing with a rhythm. You know that during the day you're building reputation and cash, and at night you'll reap the rewards in the form of accelerated research without the pressure. It's almost like having two different games running at the same station. And the secret is respecting that timing. There's no point in forcing research during the day just because it's fast. And there's no point in wasting the night just selling gas. When you lock into this logic, the game becomes much more fluid, and you feel like you're in control of the risk, instead of reacting to it all the time. The night becomes your ally, and the day becomes your camouflage. Personalizing the station isn't about making it look pretty. It's about making it fluid. It's the kind of adjustment you make once and then feel the whole game get lighter, because every step you take starts to have a purpose. Less back and forth, fewer collisions with customers, fewer seconds lost when the night decides to turn into chaos. I like to think of the station as a circuit. What the customer does most needs to be on the easiest path, and internal work needs to stay off the main route. When I organize it this way, I stop blocking the flow with things I put in the wrong place myself, and I start seeing where the game actually makes me lose time, usually in unnecessary turns and cramped areas. In practice, I always try to create 3 mental zones. A clean line for service, where people enter, buy, and leave quickly. An operational corner, stock, restocking, cleaning, and a tactical space for research, where I can act without being exposed or in the middle of the crowd. The best part is that this doesn't require anything fancy, just the discipline to stop dropping items wherever they fit and start placing them where they make sense for your daily routine. The final test for me is simple. If I can, in 1 minute, serve, restock the basics, and still handle an improvisation without feeling like I'm fighting the map, then the layout is right. If I'm constantly getting stuck, doubling back, or crossing the whole shop to do a small task, I already know the customization is sabotaging me. A tip I learned the hard way is to treat the stock purchase terminal as if it were my best employee. It's not just there for decoration. It clearly tells you how many items you need to order at that exact moment, and that completely changes the rhythm of your cash flow. If you ignore this and start panic buying, the game punishes you in 2 ways. First, with waste. You fill shelves with things that don't move, leaving your money sitting idle. Second, with a domino effect nobody wants. When a top-selling item runs out, it seems like every customer decides to ask for exactly that. Then the frustration starts, the line slows down, and you feel the profit slipping away. What I do is simple. Before finalizing any order, I check the terminal, verify the exact numbers, and buy only what is necessary. It's that smart balance of never running out of bestsellers without turning your shop into a warehouse. In practice, this keeps your cash flow much healthier because you restock with precision and maintain high turnover. Best of all, this routine gives you peace of mind, shelves full of what matters, satisfied customers, and you controlling the game instead of just reacting to chaos. Every time you use the terminal as a guide, you maximize profit and avoid that annoying empty shelf scenario that upsets customers and slows you down even more. If there's one thing I don't let slide, it's trash on the floor not being turned into a resource. I started out treating dirt as just a mess, but once you understand that every piece recycled in the alien scanner turns into one alien point, your mindset changes instantly. It's one of those constant, reliable sources that add up over time. And before you know it, they've paid for upgrades that seemed out of reach. The trick here is consistency. Recycle everything. Always. Bottles, paper, any junk that appears, throw it in the scanner. It's the kind of game that doesn't depend on luck, events, or selling rare items. You are simply converting a problem, accumulating trash, into guaranteed progress. Now, where this really gets overpowered is when you buy the janitor $50 or the auto janitor $50 as soon as possible. I know it hurts to spend $50 right at the start, but it's an investment that pays off quickly. Less time cleaning manually, less chance of missing things, and you start building alien points almost on autopilot. After I added this routine to my game, things became much more controllable. Instead of chasing points when I needed to buy something, I already had passive income rolling in just by keeping the place clean. So my tip is direct. See trash, think alien points, and rush to automate as soon as you hit $50. If there's one thing that changed my game in Roadside research, it was stopping the impulse spending of alien points and focusing directly on what accelerates collection, cameras. As soon as you gather 30 alien points, unlock the cameras. From that point on, it feels like the game finally opens a smart shortcut to farm faster without exposing yourself too much. The trick is to position 4 cameras thoughtfully in spots where customers tend to be more isolated or where you can get a back angle without becoming the center of attention. I like to treat this like setting a discrete trap. You don't need perfect coverage of the whole map. You want coverage of opportunities, those windows where someone turns their back for a few seconds. And here comes the most important part of the tip. Aim for the backs of isolated customers. Each of these photos gives you 5 alien points, and that adds up incredibly fast once you get into the rhythm. For me, it became a mini game of patience and reading movement. Wait for the person to step away, secure the angle, snap the photo, and leave like nothing happened. Now, the golden rule I learned the hard way. Never photograph faces and never walk around with the camera equipped. This spikes suspicion instantly and turns a clean route into chaos in seconds. I always think of it this way. The camera is a tool for appearing for an instant, not an item to parade around. Equip it, click, stow it, and go back to looking like just another person in the environment. To me, the photo booth is the kind of upgrade that changes the tempo because it turns research into true passive income. Once unlocked, people simply walk in, take photos themselves, and you start seeing alien points trickling in without you having to stop everything to aim a camera at a specific target. The detail that makes me love this tip is the risk-free factor. While other farming methods might push you into tense situations or distract you right when the shop gets crowded, the photo booth works in the background, like an invisible employee doing the dirty work for you. That's why I always prioritize it right after getting the cameras. The cameras are the initial push, the fast way to grind points manually. But the photo booth is what gives you consistency. It puts you in a comfortable cycle of progress because it automates collection and lets you focus on the gas station chaos without being a slave to hunting customers all the time. Ultimately, when I say infinite farm, it's more about the feeling that the game finally stops fighting for your attention. You do your hustle of refueling, restocking, and serving, while the booth generates points behind the curtain, accelerating your next upgrades without the stress of missing timing or losing opportunities. To me, the pink and green alien plushies are that ace up your sleeve that seems cheap at first but charges interest in the form of suspicion later. I even unlock them early because 90 alien points isn't absurd, and the fact that you just stock them, pay, and let it roll gives a good sense of a burst when customers start buying. But I view them as an emergency button, not a routine. The way I think is, alien toys are for when you need alien points now, like to finish an important upgrade or get out of a hole. You put them in stock, let the shop rotate, and accept that a flood of points will come at once, like a purchased productivity spike. But this spike has a cost, and that cost is the suspicion meter getting twitchier with every sale. And that's where the trap lies. If you start depending on the plushies, you're accelerating the paranoia clock yourself. When suspicion is low, fine. You can burn some sales and harvest the burst without major consequences. But with the meter already high, this item becomes gasoline on a fire. I treat it as a risk control tool. I only press it when I know I have a margin. So the practical tip is simple. Keep the plushies ready to use, but hold back. Buy stock when the meter is low, harvest the burst, and then go back to your clean, passive, discrete game. This way, you get the best out of the item without turning your run into a race against suspicion. For me, this is that unglamorous tip that separates a smooth run from a domino effect of problems. Cleaning skid marks and alien poop with a sponge. I grab it in the bathroom and do it almost automatically because it's the kind of detail you ignore for 2 minutes and before you know it, the place looks like a crime scene and your operation starts falling apart. The trick is simple and direct. Grab the sponge, hold the left mouse button, and drag it over the mess. It works on the wooden floor, near the gas pumps, and even around the toilets. So I always do a quick sweep of these high traffic spots when the shop is busy. I say this because the game punishes you if you play it cool. Ignoring dirt tanks your reputation, and in practice, you'll feel the shop cool down with fewer customers appearing. It's a silent punishment that seems small but kills your momentum for making money and maintaining flow right when you're trying to progress. The way I fit this into my loop is every time I go to the bathroom, for any reason, I grab the sponge and do a short round on the way back. You don't need to become a full-time janitor. Just keep the environment presentable and you're set, because that maintains reputation and keeps customers coming without you having to play catch-up later. In co-op, I feel roadside research gets much easier when the team stops the everyone does everything approach and starts playing like a real team with fixed roles. It seems like overkill at first, but as soon as night falls and the pace of the station accelerates, you realize that dividing responsibilities is what prevents that chaos where 2 people are cleaning while nobody is refueling, or everyone is researching while the shop goes down the drain. The division that works best for me is very direct. One person becomes the support, cleaning and keeping the stock rotating. Another stays on the vital basics of the station, refueling and food, ensuring the operation doesn't stop. It's the kind of role nobody thinks is glamorous, but it's what frees up the rest of the team to do what actually pushes progress. Then enters the research player, who needs mental space to focus, scanning, stealing, testing on customers, whatever is necessary without being interrupted every 10 seconds by dirt or a missing item. And the fourth role, which I think is underrated, is the risk brain, someone just watching suspicion and upgrades. Because when everyone is busy, nobody notices the meter rising until it's too late. And yes, voice comms aren't a luxury. They are a tool, especially at night. During the day, you can improvise and get by with chat. But at night, I like to coordinate quick micro plans. Hold the research for 30 seconds. I need to lower suspicion. I'm pulling an upgrade now. Someone cover the pumps, because that transforms a chaotic night into a controlled and efficient one. To me, roadside research becomes much more consistent when you stop seeing upgrades as a single track and start treating them as 2 engines that need to spin together. The station side, attracting customers, selling more, making cash, and the alien tech side, research, progress, unlocking the stronger stuff. If you only turbocharge one of them, the other becomes a bottleneck and you feel like you're always playing catch up. What I like to do is think and scale. First, I ensure the station can handle the volume without me becoming a slave to microtasks. And then I accelerate research with more peace of mind. That's why auto-cleaning and the replicator are upgrades that, when they come in, give you that feeling of, now the game is finally working with me, because they take the weight off your time and multiply your efficiency. And there's a classic mistake I've made and now avoid: over-researching during the day. During the day, with movement being more visible and the game putting more social pressure on you, I prefer to keep research at a controlled pace, do the basics, and leave the more suspicious actions or heavy sequences for a safer moment. It's not fear, it's planning. You don't want to draw an agent's attention when you're still trying to stabilize the station's economy. This tip turns into a simple rule for me. For every heavy push in research, I respond with an operational upgrade, or vice versa, to maintain balance. If the money is flowing and the shop is clean, research is a breeze. If research is advancing, but the station is a mess, you've just created a powerful character inside a broken shop. And that's the kind of imbalance that makes a run fail out of nowhere.